Hi, everybody. It's Numerologist Glynis McCants. So, we're doing a live YouTube as promised. I am committed to doing these to help people who follow my work. And I have a wonderful list of newsletter subscribers who are always asking me questions. And that's what this is about. It's dedicated to the people who are seeking information to change their lives for the better. So, on that note, if you enjoy what I'm doing on this YouTube channel, then you need to subscribe. I'm going to have Vanessa put that right there. It says subscribe at YouTube at Glennis Has Your Number, which is where we are right now. And just like it, pass it on to your friends that you know I can also help. What I want to do always is cover some hot topics of what's going on in the world, but also answering your specific questions. And I'm going to say something real quick to Vanessa. So I'm going to pull her in because she's kind enough to assist us when we're looking at everybody. All right, here we go. Vanessa.
Hi, everyone.
So I was thinking about the questions that were submitted today, and I wondered if you could pull those up for me, like the one about the master number 11, that person's date of birth, if you could locate it, because I'm just going to answer it on here, and then you could shoot her an email. Sure. And also keeping it simple about that house number. I know the gal was a 6, the house was a 5. I basically know what you said, but I'd like her name. So if you could shoot me those names, perhaps in the private chat, that would be great.
You got it.
Okay, thank you, thank you. All righty, I'm going to come back to me. Hi, guys. I'm literally removing, and are you putting you back in? Are you nuts? Leave
me alone.
I removed you twice and you came back in. Is that you?
Because I was removing me at the same exact time.
Oh my goodness. Here I go. Remove. There it is. Okay. Yeah. She'll be shooting me a message. So yeah, by all means, say hi, everybody. Jeffrey Knutsen's in the house. We love Jeffrey. Oh yeah. Jeff, we talk about you often here because you've got such a good heart. You're so sweet. And for those who don't know Jeff, he does tarot, actual tarot readings. You can go to Instagram. Jeffrey, go ahead and type in your handle at Instagram so that they know about you. But I know for a fact, I've known him for years now. He's extremely gifted and comes from the right place. He really feels called to help people find their way. So yeah, welcome, Jeffrey. Okay. And then we got Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Dorothy. Is it pronounced Felice? Like Felicia, but Felice? Hi, Felice. And Susan. We got Elena. Shelly. Another Joseph. I love that name. All my Josephs are great guys. Lorraine, hi. Patty, hello. So yeah, let's get this party started. And do spread the word that I'm live right now. I know most of you who follow me care deeply about the people in your life. So here's a chance for them to jump in and get some answers to their questions. Okay. And now I'm taking a peek. Vanessa and I have learned all about this private chat. So I'm just looking to see if she's added something yet, but she has not. And then I will go back to comments. So it's all about navigating good old StreamYard. So what I want to cover a couple things. One of the things that's happening last month, yes, it was about communication, right? And because Mercury was in retrograde, I think it messed with a lot of communication. There was a lot of issues. This month of 4 is all about the truth, right? So the truth is being revealed, and boy, isn't it though. And we're seeing it. And also injustice. When you see, what's that saying? When you see something, say something, right? Like keeping your mouth shut. Oh, I'm upset about how things are, but I'll keep it to myself, or I'll yell about it on my couch. That's not where we are anymore. We are in the world number 9, 2025. 9 is about the humanitarian. Who are you? What are you doing to make people's lives better? That's what it is. And what can you do to improve your life? I'm not for people who, just give everything to everybody and then they resent it. They're frustrated going, and no one gives back. Well, we set up relationships. So as I once heard and loved, we teach people how to treat us. So if you're the one who's always giving, by the time you want them to give back, they don't even know what you want. So my suggestion is for those people you choose to keep in your life, You need to level with them and say, look, okay, fine. I realize I was always been a giver and given so much, but I need reciprocation. And the other one that I think we have a deficit is gratitude. Just saying thank you. I am shocked how hard that seems to be for people. It's free, yet it means the world to whoever just gave to you. So yeah, the month of 4, it's about learning. Vanessa and I are going to talk because I believe she said, and Vanessa, am I right in this? We only have 1 ticket left. Isn't that right for the healing workshop? You're on air, Vanessa.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yay. All
Yeah.
right. So it's this Saturday. Yes. I heard you.
Okay.
We seem to have audio issues when Vanessa speaks. She thinks I don't hear, but I do. So what we're going to do is do real pauses between us so that we hopefully can solve it. I'm going to let Vanessa speak right now. Go ahead, Vanessa. And
yes,
she's frozen.
There is 1 ticket. There is 1 ticket left.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we're not sure why we're having this issue, but certainly it will be my goal to fix it. It might have to do with the plug-in issue of the Wi-Fi in this room. And if that's the case, I will get it fixed for sure. Let me think. Can you remove your image, Vanessa? Because I hit it and it's not happening. And I don't want to remove her completely because we'll be talking to her again. So yeah, we seem to have sound issues between the two of us. I want to get that fixed because my goal is ultimately to have some of you as my guest where I read you in real time and people can see your response because that's so important just to see how numbers come to life and how accurate they are. All right, so this month of 4, there is a frustration. You got to be careful when you get angry. I really am suggesting bite your tongue. It's just not worth it. And it is not a month to move quickly. So don't be crazy. Like example, what we just went through or what we're going through with the stock market. A lot of people panicked and thought I'm going to sell, right? Get rid of it. But by doing that in the midst of that storm, they would have lost money. Nothing in me would ever have touched my money. During this craziness, the debacle, the fluctuation, at one point it was a $9 trillion loss. Don't touch your money. Just let's get through this storm. And the 4 means make a plan for yourself. What can you do to feel safe in your own life? What can you do to feel better? You know, instead of that, it's almost like a low-grade depression. How do you get rid of that? Well, of course, you know, the first thing I'm going to tell you, it's music because you can't beat it. And since you're on YouTube right now, why don't you go pick, not right now on the show, but pick music that you know for a fact puts you in a good mood. I don't care how frustrated you are. You put on the right song and you're going to have fun. You definitely will. Okay, so what turns off each life path number? That's the question this time. What turns them off? Because in the month of 4, I already told you people are on edge. So you don't want to turn them off if you can avoid it. So we'll start with the 1, the number 1 life path. And Vanessa will make sure that you go to my website. Vanessa, go ahead and pop up the website if you could. Go to my website, click on numbers, and it will give you the brief definition of these life paths. But for now, we're going to just talk about what upsets them. So if you're a 1 life path, what turns you off? Slow moving people. You got no time for it. None. You're like, please pick up your pace. And also people are doing nothing with their life. They're not motivated. They have no passion. It's a complete turnoff to the number 1. So if you have a 1, you guys should be responding to that. Most of you know your birth dates, right? So definitely put your birth date. Tell me what your life path is. And if you're a 1, let me know how much that resonates with you, what I just said, okay? Number 2, what turns a 2 off? When they are feeling emotional and they've taken the time to express themselves and you're not interested. You're not even listening. It is clear you do not care. that will shut down a 2 like no other. It's not good for them. It's best they not even hang out with that kind of person because it has such a negative impact. But the bottom line is the 2s are turned off when you don't care. And if we talk about that word empathy, 2s are pretty much known for it. Like a 2 living on the positive side, they have so much empathy. They love people. So that is what turns them off. Number 3. The 3, what turns a 3 off, because they are natural counselors, if they give you advice and you don't take it and they watch you make the mistake they knew was going to happen, whew, that is a turnoff. That will turn them right off. And I'm dealt with 3, so if I don't know that number, I know nothing. And the 3 is also about that communication, being playful. So let's say you're a stick in the mud. You're always negative. You're always putting it down. That's a turnoff for the 3. They want to see the good stuff. They want to believe there's magic out there, literally. So if you're too negative or you're shooting down their ideas, it's a turnoff. Vanessa, we're going to get to that 6 soon. You know, I'm going to pull you in. I see her. She's in my little channel down here. The number 4. What turns the 4 off? The 4 is just based in logic. Okay, they care about the A plus B must equal C. So if they're trying to logically explain how to do something and you tune it out, you don't listen. Maybe they taught you once and you come back and you didn't listen or retain the information at all. Woo! That's a big old turnoff for that number 4. And also, I always have to throw this in because I've never felt something was more true. Dishonesty. A 4, now mind you, I want to be very clear. When I say this, I talk about the 4 life path in the positive side of the numbers. It's about honesty. So if you're dishonest, no, it's a complete turnoff. And they don't get over it. They are the ones who will bring it up later. The number 5 life path, what turns them off? If you don't want to go anywhere, you know, the 5's spontaneous. They want to go check out that new hotel or go to a nice restaurant, maybe a club to listen to music. And you don't want to do anything. You'd rather just stay home sitting on the couch. That is a turnoff for the 5. But also if the 5 is dealing with something like they're overwhelmed. Now, I would say as a partner, you want to calm it down. But if you don't care, like you just don't even see, what's the big deal? And they're really impacted by it, huge turnoff. The number 6. All right, Vanessa, we're pulling in. Vanessa, you're coming to the stage. Vanessa, you're the 6.
Glynis.
I have a fear of talking over you. Go.
Oh, you're going to ask me what I don't like?
No. Heck no. No. That's worth laughing over. Okay, ready? Here we go. The 6. What turns the 6 off? If they gave you an assignment, there's something they want you to do, and you don't do it, that is a huge turnoff to the number 6. If the 6 plans something, like put something together for the family, and you decide last minute you're not coming, and they've already put it in place. Maybe they made a dinner, maybe everything's set up, and maybe they even have a gift for you, and you cancel no notice, that's a turnoff to the number 6, because the 6 life path always feels this need to make things better. So if they're trying to do something for the family or people they work with, it's because they know it will be better. And if you just ignore all that, that's a huge turnoff for the 6th. I will say one more thing. Similar to the 4, the 6 has an opinion on what a home should look like. So they have an opinion about each room, the bed, the thoughts for the day on the wall, whatever it is they think is wonderful. If you're not appreciative, like you just are sloppy and don't care, you know, mess up the house, that's a turn off to the 6. And if you meet a 6 life path who is sloppy, I promise you it's not their life path number. It's somewhere else in their chart that is messing with their energy. So those are key points. All right, Vanessa, you want to add to that?
Well, all of it's true for sure. 100%. I would also say when you brought up the 3, when people don't take good advice, yeah, it drives me nuts. For a 6, for me, right? Providing good advice to people and then they do nothing with it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, thank you for that. I'm moving on and I'm worried about our problem. So click out, because if I hit remove, that will remove you from the thing. I don't want to do that. So Vanessa's in charge of her removal. See? Yeah. Thanks, Del. Thanks. All right. Guys, are you listening and listening to your life path numbers?
Yes.
A gal named KZ Gypsy Muse says this is not live. Of course it is. KZ. Of course it is. Aren't people funny? I do know, I understand why she'd even say something like that, because there are people who pretend they're doing a live event and it's not live. But I'm not one of those people. Okay? All right, KZ. Number 7. What turns off a 7? This will always be true. If they're spending time alone and they really are trying to decompress and you come in the room and want to talk and bug them, oh, honey, that is a huge turnoff. Because by the time they want to be by themselves, they need that time. They need to get within, it's almost like a spiritual thing. They need to tap into their inner spirit and feel what they're feeling. What are they going through? So, uninvited, turn off. A 7 wants to know what the plan is. If they've invited you over, they'll be lovely. They want to hang out with you, spend time with you. But you show up unannounced and want their full attention? No, that is a turnoff. The other thing is, if you're not someone who's remotely interested in traveling or looking at the world, you're just not interested in anything out there, the ocean, mountains, plants, flowers, that's all a turnoff. The 7's not going to do well with you. If you're the homebody sitting on the couch, no. The number 8. The 8 life path. What turns an 8 off? Now remember, I'm talking about the positive side of an 8. They love what it looks like. They want you to make an effort. Your appearance, your presentation. They come to your home, you did a nice dinner. There's music, there's candles. The 8 is so happy. But if you don't try, you're sloppy. The food is a hot dog on a paper plate? It's a problem. No, the 8 likes quality. They will always be drawn to it. And the other thing is that you don't even notice what they want. 8s will tell you what they like. But maybe it's holiday or it's a birthday and you give them nothing that they would have wanted. That's a turnoff. Because they're very clear. One of the most blunt energies is the 8. And they want to be heard. So that would be their turnoff. The number 9. 9 life path. This is about the number 9. I was looking at the note here with Casey and Vanessa. Am I thinking KZ? Wasn't it Casey and the Sunshine Band? Not KZ. We could do a rewrite. The number 9. Many things. But the big turnoff for them, if they, on the positive, they love humanity and they feel called to make things better. And if you don't care about that at all, like you're just so self-centered, you just care about you, that is a massive turnoff for the number 9. The other thing is those that have the scars from that original family. Okay, let's say they're dealing with siblings and the sibling, maybe the parent is sick and they're taking care of the parent, which a 9 would often do. If you made a 9 life path that doesn't take care of the parent, something really, really bad happened as a child. We're talking abuse, physical, sexual, something really bad has to happen for a 9 not to step up to care about the family. But let's say they do, and you don't care. You don't care about the family. That's a turnoff. So going back to siblings, it doesn't matter how many siblings you have in your family, when someone gets sick or they need help, you'll find certain ones step up. I can assure you a 9 would be one of those. So the turnoff is that you don't care about what's going on in the world and you only care about you. The 9 can't do that. The other thing is, it's hard for the 9 to ask for your help. So if you just step up and say, can I help you? Not only would they be shocked that you asked, they'll be very grateful. But it is frustrating for them. They are always thinking, why do I have to do everything? Why does no one step up to help me? So that's a lesson they need to learn, but it's also a turnoff. So again, if you're comfortable, take, it's best to not do that with a 9 life path. It's a big deal. All right, there those quick numbers are. So KZ, what about that number 9? I just talked to you. Every time I look, little KZ's there. So, and here's someone, well, Dorothy Russell, she said, so true for a 9. Okay. Yeah, none of that. Guys, if you're not, you got to talk numbers with me. I'm the numbers lady. I know there's astrology and all those other wonderful things, and that's great. That's not what this is. I am the numbers lady, and that's what we deal with, okay? So Natalie said she could relate because she was born on a 7 day. I'm going to assume she was referring to the 7 energy. And who else? This one said, my bestie's a 2. Glad you mentioned this. I have to focus. Yeah. Yeah, you know, the reason I do this, and I've done this now since 1995, high 30 years, 30 years, professional numbers lady. I do it because I think what causes the most pain in this world is the misunderstanding of each other. When you don't understand where someone's coming from, it leads to conflict. And it's pretty shocking, but right now I think we're dealing with some lessons. It doesn't mean someone who is broken can't get to the top of the heap. That person can, but that can hurt the others around them. So that's what I teach you. It's like to understand, where do we come from? Instead of thinking that guy's mean to me because he doesn't like me. I'm like, let's look at those numbers. And sure enough, it's a challenge in numerology. Super important to know that. Okay. I'll start grabbing some, but let's see. Vanessa. See, I see her, but is she talking? Vanessa? Oh, well, she's there, but she's not talking, at least not on mine. Oh, I see. I did have the power to remove her. Well, live and learn. I was afraid to touch that. So, Vanessa, I had you on camera, but you weren't talking, and I guess it's my computer, and I apologize, and we'll fix it. Now I'm coming over here. I'm coming to these private chats. So one gal wrote me, I'm going to read this to you. Hi, I was born 10/11/1988. I'm trying to figure out if I'm a master number 11 or not. She said, I have found some numerologists like Ann Perry. They say you should never reduce the master number 11. So the first thing I want to say, I actually have answered this question till I'm blue in the face. I answered in my books, but also if you go to numberscity.com, click under numbers, and it talks about the master numbers, I explain it to you. The first thing you need to know is the fact that you were born the 11th is also a master number. So you automatically have that master number 11, and then your whole birth date, it depends on how we would break it down. You didn't put the 19th, so wait, 10, 18, 26, 28, 29. You would literally be 29/11/2. So what does this mean? When you have a master number, no matter what, it's true for you. So you can always say, I'm a master number 11/2. Why do I break it down? Because the basic numbers in numerology is where we start. The numbers 1 through 9. When you have a master number in your chart, there will be times that you live in that higher frequency, but you will not live there all the time. You cannot. You can't. You'll end up being overwhelmed, exhausted, and who knows, it could end up getting you sick. But when you're doing your gift, whatever the gift might be, that's when you live in your master number. If you're teaching, performing, a singer, anything, a guy who designs beautiful homes, that is living in the master number. He probably would be a 22/4. But those basic numbers, 1 through 9, are still a part of you. So that's why it's 11/2, 22/4, 33/6. Because when you take off your hat, of the master number, maybe at the end of that job, you relax into the 2, you relax into the 4, you relaxed into the 6. And if you read those definitions of those numbers, you will see yourself in there because it is a part of you. But yes, you can always say, hey, I am a master number 11/2. I am a master number 22/4. I'm a master number 33/6. But I got to say something about that. There's a unique formula to the 33/6 because you literally have to have the master number 11 and the master number 22 before you become 33. I laid that out at the website, numbercity.com. Go to the menu where it says numbers and read all about it. All right. So there's your answer. And yes, it's true. Not all numerologists agree with that, but I've done it, my goodness, 30 years professionally and tons of research before. I sleep well at night. Not to mention, I have master numbers in my own chart. And I know it for a fact that when I'm on, like right now, you can bet up my 11, which is a part of me, is very much involved with today's event. But I will shut it down and go back to the 2, which is just love, peace, harmony, relaxing. So that was one. Another gal, she just said, look, I purchased a house. It's number 5. I'm a number 6. She lays it out. So if I take the number of the house and replace it with the sign saying 5, and she meant 5, F-I-V-E, like put the number 5 in letters, the letters add up to 6. So does that change the energy of the house and make it better for me? So the answer is not, I would keep it simpler. What I did was look at her birthday, 8/25/1980. The energy 33 is what it is before it becomes a 6. And what I did with that, because that double 3 is compatible to the energy in the house, she's got the 5, and then you could take the number 1. I would just add the 1 to the inside of that door, because 5 + 1 is 6. And because you're a double 3/6, it's compatible. It's not bad for you. But I wouldn't put the number 5 up there, F-I-V-E, because no matter what, 5 energy can feel challenging. So you're amplifying it, in my opinion. You already have the 5 with your home address, and now you're going 5-5, right? Don't do that. So that's my answer to the question. Add the number 1, turn it into a house of 6. If you want it to be a house of 6, that's up to you. There's other numbers you could turn it into, right? But if you want it just to be your life path, that's my suggestion. Thanks for your question. And now we're going to whip through the comments that are happening. Okay? And I'm going to ask Vanessa a question. I hope that this works. I'm adding to the stage. Vanessa. Okay, talk.
Yes.
All right. My question. Did Keith Fletcher leave a message on the phone yesterday?
Yes.
And
I spoke with Keith today. I told him we'd get him a new date.
Right. So tomorrow, am I available?
No, Glynis, you're not.
I have a reading. Tomorrow's Friday.
We'll reach out to Keith privately again.
Well, I just saw him. That's why I'm bringing it up. Keith
I get why you're bringing it up.
All right, we'll figure it out. Why he's not available tomorrow?
No, that's not the point. We'll talk about this privately.
While you clean your glasses? Okay. I have no idea what that means. All right. Yeah. I'm going to address this because I guess I feel called to address it. So we got this gal, it's KZ. I may as well, she put a comment here, but she was explaining, she said reading since she was 5, which, wow, that's early in life. But she said she got one at 55 as an accurate reading. All right, so here's my point. She's right. Of course, there's a ton of frauds out there, which is sad. Let me tell you why that's interesting to me. I do believe some of us are called to it, right? I would tell you everyone is psychic, like somewhat psychic, but some of us just tap into the third eye and our eyes are wide open. And when I learned numerology, I just found when I read someone, it was such a clear channel. It came right through my body, and I could help anybody. And I have happily helped thousands upon thousands of people in my career. But what happens is some people, they just memorize stuff, right? They try to do a formula, and then they try to read you, but they don't really have the gift. Like the gift's not coming through them. It isn't that they don't have it all. They might be blocking it. But yes, you should always seek out people that are really gifted, that you've seen their work and you know it. Like I've never come upon an audience on any show, check my work, look at my media page, that I didn't connect with that person by the numbers. And I know it's God given. That's just my truth. I have great faith. I pray every day. That's me. But it is absolutely true for me. And the accuracy, I can't tell you what a blessing it is, and how grateful I am to be able to help people. But there are people out there that are full of it, charlatans, and you got to pay attention and read about them. Check it. Don't just book a session if you don't know that person's work. Investigate them. But remember, going back to your own psychic abilities, if you think of your friend and the phone rings at your friend, that's psychic. That's tapping into it. It's called synchronization with the universe. And some of us just have the gift more. Some people have dreams, and then a week later they say it. I've had some really psychic dreams lately, but this one in particular, it was a famous person. I'm not going to say their name right now, but in my dream, I saw their outfit. They were wearing a certain outfit, very specific. And recently they were on the news, and they were wearing the exact outfit I saw them in the dream. And this person was smiling ear to ear in the interview, smiling ear to ear. So yeah, it's a wonderful thing to tap into it. And all of us have a little bit, and some of us, it goes to a whole new level. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's see what this one is. The land of facade. I used to say facade, but it's not. You never hear something you're not meant to in the moment. Perhaps the lesson is in discernment and seeking further truth from there. Sure, I agree. I do think you're right in saying that we do hear things for a reason, but sometimes you also have to let it go as quick as you hear it, right? Because it's not always good. Here's an example. You would think when you have a dream of something you want to succeed, you figure your family will be supportive or your best friends. Not necessarily. Sometimes they're backed up or they're jealous, thinking, why should you have that, not me? Why should you succeed? So they shoot you down. So no, I say when you have a real passion, work on it with maybe just tell one or two people that you really can trust. But don't share it with everybody, because not everyone's on your side. And as I always say, the brighter your light, the bigger the bugs. So when you're out there shining, someone's going to come after you because they just don't like you shining. Why are you shining, not me? What people think of you is none of your business. You just make a note of it. So yeah, it's not for everybody. Yeah, I'll put Keith's up because Keith is a fellow 3. He says, yeah, the dreams are amazing. I have some weird dreams too. Also, the pink full moon energy is so up and down with me. Yeah. So he's talking about full moon energy, and that's very true. It's remarkable. I do find those of you that are gifted, those of you that are psychically in tune, that full moon has a massive impact on you. But it's not just you. If you check with like the police department, they say they have more arrests on the full moon, violent stuff that happens, which, by the way, I'm going to bring something up real quick. I'm not sure of the woman's name, but her husband is like a bassist. Is that what it is called? The instrument bassist? Yeah. He's going to be performing in Coachella. But what happened was, it was a couple of days ago. I happen to know it happened to be an 8-day. And I always warn people about that 8 energy. I'm like, be careful. Don't do something you'll regret. Well, what happened was, it was like a hit and run in her area. And the cops were looking for the person who did it. And she had a gun. Like, she's at the front door with a gun. And the cops are like, would you please put down your gun? Please put down your gun. She didn't. So they ended up shooting her in the shoulder. And now, of course, she's been arrested for attempted murder because you don't point a gun, right, at a cop. I think that's a no-brainer, but here we are. But my first thought was, okay, what's the story there? And more importantly, the birth date, right? All right, so it's a group called Weezer, for those of you who are into that, like knowing that. And then Jillian, Lauren is the gal that's in trouble? No. Look, double check that. I didn't know that because I didn't remember that being her name. But she's an author. Here, I'm going to pop it over. My gal was looking it up. Wow.
Famous author.
Well, so she, wow. Yeah, sure enough, Melissa was kind enough to look it up. Well, so you know what I'm going to say? And I just will find out more, but there has to be drugs involved. You know, when we talk about drugs, it could be an antidepressant. It doesn't mean she's a drug addict, but something snapped in her head. You don't point a gun at the cops. I don't care who you are. I don't care about level of fame. But the weirdest part was I thought for sure she was the one responsible for the hit and run. And it had nothing to do with her. They weren't looking for her or anything. So just remember that. Like, we got more 8 days coming. What's the next one? The 17th. 1 + 7 is 8. The 26th. 2 + 6 is 8. Just make a note that, not that you're going to do something crazy like that, but just relax into that date. Maybe do a prayer about feeling good and happy. Because the month of date, those dates break down to a 3. The whole thing's a 3. But 383, what does that mean? If the 3 invites you to communicate, but the 8 ends up saying something blunt, you can see how there could be repercussions, right? All right. Okay. All right, let's see who this one is. Just want to let you know, I've been listening to your advice and I have let go of all the toxic and challenging people in my life. Good for you. And I feel great. I'm a life path number 9/1. Well, I am thrilled for you because I know that's not easy. It is not easy to let people go, but you know, you should look at it this way. It invites new people in. It gives you a chance to have quality people come in and kind of to reintroduce yourself. Just like I said earlier, when we end up giving so much to people in our life and suddenly we want them to reciprocate, but they're like, what do you even want? But if you have a new friendship, you can have boundaries right from the beginning. You see how healing that would be for you? Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing that with me. All right. Simple question, but I'll answer it. She says, does astrology play a role in the numbers? Well, stop and consider. Astrology has numbers, right? So since astrology has numbers in it, yes, I find when we talk about the house of 5, house of 7, the traits are similar. The energy is similar. So you bet that does connect and resonate, astrology. And, you know, going to that for a minute, though, a gifted astrologer, whenever, and there's so many wonderful astrologers, the ones that are gifted, we always reach that same conclusion. They use their tool, I use mine, but it's the same conclusion. And it's a blessing to have that. And by the same token, someone who says they're an astrologist, but they don't really know much about it, they're going to have a hard time being accurate with the read. So know who's reading you. Okay, I'm going to do this real quick. This gal said, hi, Glynis. I hope all is well. I was born 4/27/1963, and I was informed that I'm going to be laid off on 4/25. I don't have good health, and I can't an office job, only remote. Okay, so in other words, it seems like she's saying she can't go work in an office. It would have to be remote. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Hold on. 4, 5. So we're dealing with her energy. She has a 4 attitude. So that's month and day. The actually has a 9, and then life paths a 5. So she's in a world number 4. And then the layoff date is the month of 8. So of course you're feeling overwhelmed and upset. But I think good things can happen for you, Patty. I'm going to say just by your numbers that you like to stay busy. You have a strong mind. So now you're going to open yourself up to attracting a really good job. And I'm going to give an affirmation right now for you to use, and everyone else, everyone is welcome to use it. But I really want you to get on it now, Patty. Start saying it every single day for 15 minutes out loud. Ready? I am blessed with infinite abundance. I am blessed with infinite abundance, and prosperity flows to me wherever I go. So I am blessed with infinite abundance, and prosperity flows to me wherever I go. And Vanessa will probably put that up on the board. But again, I am blessed with infinite abundance, and prosperity flows to me wherever I go. If you are affirming, because right now you're living in fear, you're just frightened. You're like, oh my gosh, you're looking at all your negatives. You're like, I lost my health insurance. I'm not doing great. I have to work out of the house. You're hearing all the negatives. But the fact is, when we're in a cycle of 4, it is about security. And maybe you could establish something and surprise yourself and actually get a job where you make more money. Wouldn't that be nice? And number 2, is there a skill, something you don't know, that if you could just learn it, maybe taking an online class, which would be great for you. If you did that, could it be this missing ingredient that could give you an even better job? So that's what I say, Patty. You're in a tough cycle. Month of 8, that's always set up for some lessons. And life path number 5, the 5 and the 8, never the 2 shall meet. All right? So I say good things are in store, but get on it. 15 minutes a day. Say it out loud. Thank you. All right. I'm going to come over to Vanessa for a second. Vanessa, I've got you on screen.
Hello.
We're going to wrap right now, doll. I just want you to be able to say goodbye.
All right. I was actually just writing that when Glynis gives you an affirmation, she always says 15 minutes out loud every day. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes straight. It can be 5, 5, 5, 5, whatever you have, but continue to say it. Say it with conviction. And also, when you're kind of finding yourself in a monotone way of saying it, pick it up, bring it back up. I've watched Glynis do this over and over. If you guys saw the hundreds of emails we receive on people saying this changed my life, it is really because of the way Glynis teaches people to say affirmations.
It makes a huge difference. And then finally to say, this Saturday on the 12th, we are doing the Healing Your Body affirmation. Mm-hmm. The reason I offered this is a lot of people are suffering. I know for a fact when we get sick, it's emotional stuff first. Whatever we shove down there, whatever we don't want to deal with. But next thing you know, you get sick. This workshop's set up to help you heal. And we've had amazing stories come through, emails sent to us about people who healed their life. I mean, one gal with stage 4 cancer, been in remission for years now. And of course, I'm nothing but grateful. I don't want anyone to get sick, but that's what the workshop is. Vanessa, we got 1 ticket left. So go ahead and take advantage. Head on over, numberslady.com, and it will be this Saturday. Now, listen, it's a 90-minute workshop. If you cannot be in the room, don't worry about it. You still get the special tools that I offer. Like you guys get a weekly affirmation for a full 30 days to help you get into this new habit of focusing on healing your body. So it's all provided to you. You get a copy of the recording, even if you're not in the room. So if you feel called to this, go to numbercity.com and we'll see you this Saturday. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll see you very soon. I'll come up with another date and I will be here for you. Again, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe on this YouTube channel and let other people know I'm here for you. Take good care.